Are we ready now? Are we ready? Hello everyone.
Oh no, I wasn't ready.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, Eliot, you've returned.
I've arisen from the bed.
You made it.
I was going to say the grave,
I
but
know,
yeah.
but only one did that. So today we thought we would chat about moving to London, what it's really like, basically. Because how long have you lived here?
So I've lived here for 2.5 years. I moved for work. And before I moved here, I really didn't want to move to London. That wasn't part of my life plan. I thought it was like too stressful, too many people. I want a nice quiet life where no one bothers me, blah, 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 blah. But basically I've been here and yeah.
That's legit.
That's it.
And this is like the complete opposite place of all of those things that you wanted.
Yeah.
Loud, noisy, everyone bothers you, many people.
Wow. You've pretty much listed all the things we're going to talk about today. So
basically, I've lived here for 1.5 years, but before I moved here, I kind of didn't really have any expectation as to what it would be like.
But you'd heard things, right?
I've heard things, and I used to come down here to work anyway. I did a lot of sessions here and stuff, but it wasn't one of those things where I had like really strong views. But I was just kind of like, so what would you say the preconceived ideas are?
Well, let's start with the first one, which I think is that London has too many people in it. I think that's the big one. It's too busy.
Yeah, but that's true.
So that was the big thing reason I didn't want to come to live here. There's just too many people here. And now people are great, but there are some places that you don't want lots of people. Like in the shower. No, that's not true. Like
on public transport when it's hot in summer and it's about 25 degrees plus and there's about 1 million people in one carriage and you're this far away from each other and some of us...
You're licking the sweat out of a man's armpit. That's your, you can't reach a bottle of water, so you just have to survive off the, you have to drink Barry's armpit juice. That's your sustenance for your journey. A
lot of people say they don't want to move here because it's busy. And I do completely agree. If you're commuting, it's always going to be chocker. There's always going to be so many different people. But there are boroughs of London that aren't like central. A lot of people say that they don't want to live here because they've been to like the London Eye or they've been to like London Bridge or Big Ben or something.
London is so much more than just central London. Like there's so many nice places that aren't actually on the Thames. Well, some of them are on the Thames, but further down the Thames.
Yeah.
And I think that it's very easy to misconstrue that as kind of, this is how busy it always is. When I visited South Kensington on a Saturday, that's clearly going to be terrible. It's going to be loads of people. But if you go out to, you know, Richmond or Hampstead or whatever
like
in the weekday, or what, you know, when it's not half term, it's actually really chilled.
Basically, the whole of London isn't just Trafalgar Square.
Yeah,
there is literally so many different places outside of that have parks, that have lakes, that have, what else do they have? They have like markets on the weekend.
It's the same as everywhere else.
It basically can be the same as anywhere else, north, south, east and west, but it just kind of depends on what area you're in.
So one of my other preconceived ideas about London was that it was going to be really expensive. Everything was going to be so expensive when I got here.
Which it is.
And to be fair, the rental market is horrible. It is so expensive. It's outrageous. But what I was surprised about was actually the living costs in general. Okay, yes, rent is expensive, but other living costs aren't that bad. Unless you're buying lunch out at work every day. But like your groceries I'm talking about. Groceries aren't that bad. Like, it's the same pretty much. I think maybe a little bit more, but there's still Aldi and Lidl and all that cheapo stuff. But also, things like phone bills, broadband, all that stuff's actually cheaper down here. It's much more competitive in London than it is in the north.
And there's also ways to get around it. Like if you're moving here alone, you just house share. Even if you are in a couple. I mean, we don't share, but it's something that a lot of people who are in couples or in relationships do, or people who are by themselves do, just because it can literally like slash your costs so much.
The next preconceived idea,
which is
that London is the land of opportunity. Which it is.
Okay, there's two. I think. Okay, we're being honest.
Yeah.
We're being very, very,
Yeah.
very, very, very honest.
Yeah.
London, For me, I feel like it's one of those places where it is what you make of it. I think when you first get here, I think it can be intimidating trying to actually find where things are happening.
Okay.
So if you move here alone, so for example, I work from home, it takes a lot longer to try and figure out which clubs do I want to be part of? Do you know, where do I want to meet people? Where do I actually make friends?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is a land of opportunity, but you have to dig.
Yeah, I mean,
You have to dig deep.
but I think you have to know what you want to get out of it as well.
Yeah.
Because this is the other thing, is that I moved here because I got a job here. That's why I moved. And I know that sometimes people can think, oh, if I move to London, then I'm more likely to get a job. I mean, I've heard that, like, I move here and I'm gonna hustle and I'm gonna make my way. I mean, that can happen, and if you've got a good like attitude like that, then to be honest, if you're driven like that, you probably will. But if you come here and you sit on your bum all day and you don't like go out and try and do it, you're not gonna. So for me, I had to get a job secured here before I would ever move.
I personally don't know if I'd just move here just for the sake of it. I think I would move here.
I don't think it's that kind of place.
It's not really. I think I'd move here obviously if there was work opportunities, and which there is personally for me. But having said that, it's not the only place that has opportunity. One of the things about moving to London is that it just definitely brings you outside of your comfort zone. Because when I did come here, it was one of those things where I actually felt like I had to stop from scratch, because it's so big. Obviously you don't know anyone, or you might know a few people. You just kind of have to work and pick at it and just keep building something up.
But here as well, even if you know people, they probably live like 2 hours away.
Oh god.
That's the crazy thing, is that you're like, oh, you're moving to London? I live in London. Oh, where do you live? Oh, I live in like Epping. And it's like, right, well, I'll see you back in the north then, because I'm never gonna see you in Epping. You can live in London and still be 2 hours away from each other.
You're literally not gonna see.
You'll have to like time it.
It's almost like if your commute is, for me, if it's less than 50 minutes travelling anywhere.
50.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of normal.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that people also think is that people here are rude.
So, do you know what? This was one thing that I found really difficult, a culture shock when I first moved here.
Yeah.
Was that I was really surprised at how different people are here than they are in the north.
Yeah.
Now that I've been here for 2.5 years.
He is one of them.
No.
You've sold.
No. The thing is, you're around so many people all the time that you do need some space for yourself. Now, I'm aware of why people might come across as rude in London. It's because people are spending all hours of the day with like thousands of people, and sometimes you just want to kind of have a bit of space. Okay, that's fine. I understand that. Now, there's no need to be rude. What I've come to learn is that even if people are rude, you can still like make light of it. So like you can be overly thankful for people who are rude, you can kind of like kill them off with a bit of love.
So they kill people with kindness.
That's it. Don't kill anyone, but like you can kind of be extra nice to people who
don't like that.
They hate it. It's
do
great.
Not like that.
It's so much fun, and they can't say anything because you're being nice. Not even out of a bad place, just genuinely be nice to them.
My favourite thing is on transport, Americans and Australians.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because everybody is silent, no one's talking to anyone. But if there's like an American or an Australian, they will always talk to you. And I love it, it's amazing. So for me, that's actually one of the things I did find really difficult about moving here, was the culture shock, just because in the Midlands, in the north of the UK, anything like that, everybody talks to everyone. You can literally go to the shop and talk to the cashier, and by the end of scanning your groceries, you're best friends and you're going down the pub later on. But here, one of the things that I found is that people aren't necessarily going out to make friends. People aren't necessarily like going out to make relationships.
I think you can do that here, but first of all, you have to be comfortable and confident just to like break down people's barriers, because ultimately
you have to chip away until they give in.
I've made loads of friends with like people like the cashiers at my local Waitrose, and like the landlords at the pub and all that stuff. And yeah, that's right. I mean, not so much at Sainsbury's because it's all that self-checkout stuff. But my waitress, man, they're my boys, you know?
I think one of the ways that you get around that as well is if you like have local places you go to. So like I will sometimes work in cafes quite a lot in different places, and it's really nice because in a lot of the places I get to know them, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I think that's it. You just have to put in a bit more effort and stop being scared of everyone and start just being, because there are a lot of people. I think that's what it is. There are loads of people, and it's almost like too many. Whereas when you're in the Midlands, it's kind of like, oh, there's one person on the street and it's the shopping, and you grew up with them, and like you probably dated them a bit at one point. Who knows, right? There's no denying that it took me 18 months, pretty much 18 months before I like started to feel comfortable here. But once you start seeing that it's basically just a city that's full of people, you can have an alright work-life balance if you work on it. And yeah, there are loads of people, and it is super busy, and it is super expensive. But there are opportunities here. I think I love it now. Yeah. I didn't for a long time, and now I do.
Yeah, I was the same. When I first moved here, I thought it was cool. Then I found it quite lonely at one point, because it was just like, great, I work from home and there's loads of people and nobody knows who I am, and it's just really intimidating. And so it took me probably about under a year, I think, to kind of get used to it. Now I love it. Like, I love London so much. I think a lot of people kind of from the outside in or inside out, everybody's like, the way I live is the best way. So like I find sometimes, like if I go back home or something, sometimes the opinion is I couldn't move to London because it's awful, or the way that they live is wrong, or like Londoners are like, I couldn't move outside of London because it's too small and there's nothing going on. But for me, I love it here, but I love going back as well. It's how you and there's just such great things happening here, and there's such great things happening outside of here as well. Thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments, what do you think of London? Have you lived here before? Would you ever live here?
Oh, are we wrong? Are the preconceived ideas that we talked about, do you agree with them?
Yeah.
Are we wrong? And also, let us know for ideas for the next video that you want us to be in.
That we do together. And hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Also guys, remember to turn your notifications on, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye!